Hello, and welcome to another week of the Abuse Cartoons live stream. Let's see where this camera is going here. There we go. So everything's a little skewed. There we go. All right. I hope everyone is doing well in the current state of things. Hey, K5. Good to see you. But, yeah, so like we were talking about last week, the Tokyo Olympics are delayed, postponed. So they will be the 2020 Olympics, but they will be happening in the summer of 2021. So that was interesting. So right after we talked about that, and it was probably just a few days after Canada and Australia boycotted, they just kind of gave up on the idea. And, you know, probably Olympic Committee's final decision was push it off a year. And then suddenly more cases of bad weather started appearing in Japan. So, yeah, things have gone from we don't know what's going on to worse. And they're talking about a lockdown of Tokyo, one of the largest cities, most populous cities on the globe. So that'll be interesting. I mean, I guess they're doing it in New York and San Francisco and things, so it's not impossible, but pretty miserable. And unlike the U.S., some people, you know, to work in the big city in Tokyo, live in closet-sized apartments. So to be stuck there for 2 weeks is not going to be fun. It'll be more like a prison cell than anything else. So we'll see. No, I don't think it's ever been postponed. It's been canceled during wartime. I think both World War I and World War II canceled the Olympics. But yeah, this is the first postponing. So yeah, all of this is new territory. So, and this kind of like resets the athletes' like training schedule and stuff. So yeah, I wonder what kind of effects it's going to have and how successful an event it's going to be. And then that's going to mean that, you know, that's only 3 years until the next time. So some of the people that would have gone professional or retired or whatever, you know, have a chance to maybe do one more Olympics. Yeah, it's funny. Just based on the timing, it'll change things, and this may, you know, for some people disqualify them from competing because one more year, they can't do one more year or whatever. So I'm curious what effects this has on the athletes, and you know how willing people are going to be even in a year to come to Asia in, you know, any large numbers. We'll see, and I'm curious about the overall fallout of this whole thing. Like, yeah, what's going to happen to the world economy and who they're going to blame. I don't know, but we'll see. Yeah, so it was funny though that that announcement came so quickly after we had talked about it, and then as well, so many new cases had been reported. What's going on? Suddenly, there have been some bad stories of because the tradition for Japanese. Yeah, I can't imagine. Yeah, that was the strangest news from the U.S. is they're just going to start releasing prisoners because I guess, you know, a prison is a pretty terrible place to have something contagious. Just like a cruise ship, but I was really surprised that they're just saying, yeah, we'll just let people out of prison to keep things safer. That was pretty funny. But yeah, so this story in Japan was it's very standard kind of tradition for graduating college students to take a trip together. They have like the graduation trip is very common. And so a group of students from a university, what's going on here? From a university in Kyoto went to Europe in the middle of all of this. And then they came back and went to a ceremony at the university I don't know if they like a scaled down graduation or something, and just contaminated everybody there. And so there's a new cluster now on the western side of Japan because people had to have that. So it's kind of the equivalent, the same way that people are going to spring break in the U.S. There were some students that are just, they don't want to lose this opportunity. And it's a little more understandable in Japan because it's not like they can just do it next year, because once you start working in Japan, your time is no longer your own. You belong to the company, and your vacations are very limited, if at all. I mean, if you're a new employee, you have no vacation time. You basically have your maybe paid sick days and national holidays. So this is their last chance to do that. But, some people just have to realize that they were born, it was just bad timing. It's just they were born with this timing ahead of them, and they just have to kind of deal with it. So, but a lot of people have, had reduced graduation events and things. So everyone entering the real world. Oh no, let me check and see what's going on here. Here we go. Oh, blame. Wow, that's so weird that was blocked. I don't know if it was Canada or what blocked. Maybe it's just a South Park reference. No South Park reference is allowed on YouTube. I really miss when they had southpark.com and they just had the entire archive of all the South Park seasons on there for free. That was wonderful. And then Comedy Central, I think they may have gotten bought or restructured or changed leadership or something, but they just decided, no, we're not doing that anymore. We're putting that all on comedycentral.com, or they're going to put it through some kind of access, or at least like regionally limit it, because it wasn't even regionally blocked. So from Japan, I could watch all the South Park. It wasn't like the most current stuff, but it was pretty close. I think because of the iTunes deal that they had, so it had to go on iTunes first, and then they would just put it on southpark.com or whatever it was, .cc, whatever the website was, and that was amazing. And so I haven't seen much South Park since then, because the Japanese versions of Hulu and Netflix have American shows, but they're like a season or two behind most of the television. I think because of the expense of doing the translation work. Just all boxes again, but there's missing seasons, and that was funny when Mad Men was out. It didn't play anywhere on Japanese cable. This is years ago, but they did a DVD release, but there wasn't much demand for it, so it went to the last season was never released. So if you wanted to finish the show and you were just like either renting or buying the DVDs in Japan, they just never released a final season on DVD. They may have since then rectified that with like a box set or something, but that was so funny when they were doing the releases. It just kind of there was no interest in it. And I think that's happened with things like Friends and ER and other American TV. They just lose interest. So you've got like the first 5 seasons in, with Japanese subtitles, and then season 6 to 25 or whatever. It's just like it just doesn't exist here. That's funny. Wow. Yeah, I wonder why they gave that up. It seems like advertising and stuff on the website would be enough. That's a shame. Yeah, I was trying to Adult Swim, the Adult Swim website. There were things that I totally missed being here because there is no Adult Swim animation, and I wanted to catch up on some stuff. And the website, I think it was okay. It was a little odd. I think they had like random episodes playing or something, but I never got caught up on stuff that I had missed. And they'd started doing a lot of live action on Adult Swim, so that wasn't all that exciting. All right. Whoa, yeah, that's off. But yeah, and it's really weird and kind of unpredictable what's going to be popular here. You can kind of tell by what they imitate, like what Japanese television will do, like the police procedural kind of crime drama and the hospital drama. And almost everything else on TV here is based on manga, and not good manga. There's a lot of bad stories and a lot of like so manga in Japan is broken up between boys and girls basically, and it's kind of heavily separated. So girls are love stories and cute animals and magic, and boys are fighting. It's all like Fist of the North Star and more action oriented stuff. So a lot of boys haven't read any girls manga, and a lot of girls haven't read any boys manga. So when they base something on it, it's a little odd. I mean, some of those things go beyond their kind of gender. So stuff like One Piece and Naruto those are basically what they call shonen manga, boys manga, but a lot of girls read them. And in America, there's no differentiation. Yeah, right. Yeah, that's the funny thing is YouTube is still people are pirating the hell out of stuff on YouTube. That's so funny, even with their automated system. That was when that first started happening, and YouTube had kind of no answer to that, when people were just putting TV episodes and things on YouTube and they couldn't catch it very quickly. Like they didn't have all their content ID, robots climbing around on through all the content. I remember that huge lineup of Viacom and all of the big media companies lining up to sue YouTube, and then they had that judgment. Google won that, or whoever the owner is, Alphabet or whatever the ownership was. They won that judgment that said anything on their platform is, if it's user contributed, it's not their fault. They will need to take it down, but they can't be sued for it. And that was it. Like that was the end. But I guess to make the partnership deals that they've had, I don't know about that. They have developed all that software that like automatically blocks stuff and takes stuff down as a necessity to get bigger players on the platform. But that was funny when it looked like it was all going to go away because there was just so much pirated stuff. See if I can do a square version of that. But yeah, and it's I guess because of the technology and the better cameras and streaming, that changed things. So the creator stuff stopped being total garbage on YouTube, and production quality picked up, and people really figured out what to do with it. So that's a surprising change, because I think that was the original creator's idea, was have a platform for people, YouTube, to create their own content, and it was all just people digitizing garbage they recorded on a VHS camcorder. And then phones happened, and like smartphones and with cameras happened, and that's it. And then streaming, people started having 4K cameras, and it's just insane how different that is. And I don't even think a lot of people that consume a lot of streaming and stuff know how new that that medium is, and how until very recently it did not exist. It's crazy. What am I doing? All right. Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, cool. Wow, that's great. Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, I played around a little because originally when it was just there was only the Java version, I played around with Minecraft because I liked the idea of like a real simplified kind of survival game. Because I noticed in MMOs I was just kind of playing that way, playing like solitaire and kind of more survival based. And so yeah, Minecraft was interesting, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't think because I've seen like stuff that people have done in Minecraft. It's insane. And I don't know. I wonder. I don't think I'm not architectural. I know that, so maybe that'll be a problem with YouTube, like designing spaces. Like I'm more form than space, and it's funny because that's a different kind of design sensibility. Like an architect and a sculptor have a different sense of things. So to make a statue or to make a building, you're thinking differently, and you're thinking about like being, instead of a figure like in space, you're thinking about moving through that space. So it's a little different. Yeah, but that's pretty cool. That's a really cool idea. Yeah, and it's great timing with that, with people starting to get stuck at home, or having been stuck at home. I guess it's been going on for a while in the U.S. I'm not quite up to date. It's just the only details I've been getting is from just listening to podcasts and stuff. It's mostly like New York comedy and stuff. So I'm hearing the New York version of quarantine and isolation and all that good stuff. But it's just cancel. Everything is being canceled. Oh man, Fear Factor. I don't know. I can't keep up if it's eating terrible things, or I can barely. I eat some moderately terrible things from the convenience store, but anything much worse, I don't know if I could do. I'll definitely watch it, but that's great. Yeah, Fear Factor. I can't believe that was, yeah. Joe Rogan is a podcaster now. Like nobody even thinks about, or maybe a lot of people don't even remember. And it's Joe Rogan with hair too, doing Fear Factor. Is it? Maybe. I think so. I think he was still actor comedian Joe Rogan. So, but that's funny. He's like such a huge podcaster now. That's awesome. Yeah, I'll definitely check that out. I don't think I could hang with people people able to handle physical challenges and eating nonsense. Yeah, they ate some vile stuff on that show. Yeah, right. Sprite and bananas. No. No, yeah, I definitely don't have the stomach for it anymore. Maybe I used to be a little bit stronger years ago, but yeah, I can't imagine. Sprite and bananas, I've never had. Right. Maybe one edge here. There we go. All right. So hope everyone is doing well. Oh, wow. Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, there's some like weird combinations of stuff that, I can imagine would just instant projectile vomit. Yeah, that doesn't seem like, that combination doesn't seem that crazy, but that would be rough. I guess like Sprite and bananas would be better. It'd be better puking that up than some other things. Damn. Yeah, but as far as like disgusting stuff you can buy at a store, I think Asia has America beat. I know that you can buy like chocolate covered crickets or fried, different fried bugs and stuff, kind of randomly in the U.S. But yeah, it gets pretty. That kind of stuff, yeah, it's pretty common here. Yeah, and it always makes me think of, like, if you figured out some disgusting things are edible, either you were really bored or you were really hungry. And so it definitely makes you think that countries that have discovered all the bugs that are delicious and things have definitely had some periods of horrible famine where people had to just eat whatever, like the stories you hear with North Korea. Just eat the roots of the the young tender shoots of grass that are coming up and things to survive. That's crazy. Just telling your citizens, yeah, there's not enough food this year, so good luck with that. 400 bucks to projectile vomit. Oh man. That's really cool. Yeah, I wonder what kind of rules YouTube has for stuff like that. Because I haven't looked for it, but I wonder, like, if there's videos of people puking and like eating really nasty stuff, that's like visually horrifying. I wonder if that's okay on YouTube. I guess anything's okay on YouTube as long as you don't want to put commercials in front of it. If you don't want to run ads, I think, let you run anything but sexually explicit stuff. When like real murder, real violence. But yeah, I don't know. It's changed so much though with their trying to control content. I have no idea. And I think it's always changing too. They keep changing their rules, just like Twitter and all the other, and social media in general. They just kind of make it up as they go along. Okay, enough boxes. Oh yeah. No, I definitely, if there's something that fits, I would definitely like to get on a Hyphonics stream. That's so, yeah, it's great what he does. The creativity is huge, and how often he streams and comes up with ideas. And it's really good. The contest ideas are always really strong. That's very cool. Like the green screen stuff, that was great. Yeah, it's like, I don't know where. It's like the creativity disappeared, like, TV and radio, like broadcast stuff in America just doesn't have that creativity anymore. It's all online. It's all streamers and YouTubers that are having, I don't know what that is, are having the great ideas. Hey, Joe. Good to see you. Yeah, the university that I go to in the morning before I stream is delaying the start of class until the beginning of May. So things are going to get real weird, and they're going to start trying to figure out how to do some what are they calling that, distance learning or whatever, just streaming. They're going to start streaming lectures and things, at least having them available so that students can at least keep up. And I've heard some schools in the US that have, like universities that have closed down, are not offering refunds. There was like a story about NYU just Yeah, telling students, no, we're closed, but you don't get your money back. Yeah, so you're paying for the degree whether you're there or not. Oh, no, I didn't. That's a good idea. Yeah, I caught a couple of like entries. He played a couple of entries when he was doing the green screen contest, and yeah, creative stuff. And it's funny too how like fans of certain people produce stuff so fast, especially like Photoshops and stuff. Like somebody talks about something, and someone's sitting there with Photoshop and puts together exactly what they just said in a Photoshop edit. That's all looking weird. That stuff is so instant. And yeah, fan art is becoming like that too, like for TV shows. You have people, watching a new episode and then just immediately doing art of the new characters and stuff, so it goes up right away. That's really different, really a totally different speed. But it also means that stuff goes away so fast too. Stuff doesn't stay popular. Oh yeah, well I do. This is just the style of this cartoon, so it's kind of it's very limited. It's a very limited style, just so it's easy to do weekly. But yeah, I do more graphic stuff. I do some character. I showed one of the drawings on I inked and colored. That's right, one of the drawings that I did. Just that was for my daughter, but just a character stuff. So I do some mascots, like I've done like a crepe shop, and the most recent one was a tea company. A Taiwanese tea company was coming to Japan, and they wanted a mascot, but they wanted it to be not copying kind of a Japanese style, so they wanted a Western illustrator to do their mascot. So yeah, so I did that, and an Italian restaurant wanted like a little chef for their logo, so I've done a bunch of that little stuff. I need to put that stuff up. Oh yeah, she loved it. yeah, that was fun. Yeah, her drawing was really cute too. I should have put that up while I was drawing, but yeah, that was fun. Oh damn, sorry. Oh yeah. No, I haven't done anything for game streamers, but I should probably, because that's really fun, and it's fun kind of interaction. So I should yeah, that's true. That's good. Yeah, I didn't put any of that stuff on Instagram. I should be keeping up on that. But yeah, I haven't. I got to find somebody that I like, and yeah, just do some fan art that way. I should do some for Hyphonics. I should just do some, do like a character version of him. But yeah. Oh, sorry. Oh, my schedule has been bad lately, and since my daughter's stuck home from school, I have not had. It's been very random, and I can't tell what's going to get canceled and what's not. So it's always a surprise. Every week it just seems like it's getting worse or different. Yeah, but I think everyone's going through that. Yeah, I think I need to move that corner. Oh, that's sad. Yeah, definitely. That's sad. Yeah, that really sucks. Losing a pet, and especially dogs, get to be such a part of the family. That's that's difficult. Yeah. I haven't. Let's see. I haven't set up a an exact level for that or anything. But yeah, no, we can figure something out. I'd love to. Yeah, I'd love to do that for you. That would be great. Yeah, I should put some examples of like other styles of work online, kind of connected to this, so it's not. It doesn't seem like only this. That's a pillow, kind of. But yeah, no, that's cool. Yeah, I have a Patreon for it, but it's just kind of the Patreon for Abuse Cartoons is just to support this cartoon. But I need to expand it because now that I started streaming more, I realized that that it's a bigger thing. Like doing art streaming is not just one project. It's there's a lot of work I can do. So let me do that. Oh wow. Yeah, that's hard. That's a family member. That's rough. There we go. Oh, I should do a topical toilet paper joke. I can't believe how out of control toilet paper is in popularity. Alright. Yeah, maybe that will work together. Let's try another one. Oh yeah. So I've just got Streamlabs. I've got Streamlabs, and I don't qualify for any of the super chat or anything. So I think I linked my YouTube, like YouTube donate or YouTube, PayPal donation and Streamlabs link. Yeah, check that out. Oh wow. Oh, that's crazy. Wow. A spinal cord stroke, I didn't know that could happen. That's nuts. All right. Yeah, there's plenty of stuff that my stream is missing. I definitely have to get it to support more stuff and and get partnered on YouTube. That would be a nice thing. Yeah, that took forever. That was such a nightmare with the other channel, that kind of tabletop hobby channel, tabletop gaming channel. That took forever. It was just we had the worst timing. They kept changing the requirements for partnership. It used to be really easy, and then YouTube went through that thing where they were like losing advertisers or whatever because their stuff was such a mess, and then they just kept raising the requirements. So it used to be really, really easy to be partnered. The views and subscribers and everything were really low, and they just kept raising it. So once we hit a certain threshold, they just kept moving the goalpost or moving the finish line, and it took like more than a year. It was like a year and a half because the channel, and the channel still is not that big, but we definitely qualified for the partnering, for the ads and stuff. And it just it took forever. And now with the recent stuff, yeah. the TP Obsession. Actually, that's a little bit big, isn't it? In comparison, they're probably about closer to the same size. Yeah, it's really funny why people, and even in Asia, like the reaction was like global. People had the same reactions everywhere. Because it started with masks here, because masks are so prevalent, and they were having shortages, and started to tell people, don't, wear masks unless you need them, unless you have symptoms. But then that, for some reason, spilled into toilet paper. And I still saw, it was this morning, I still saw people queuing up at a pharmacy that wasn't open yet, that had the shutter down still, waiting for something that was going to be delivered. All right, well, there's one. Yeah, bigger dogs and hip stuff. That's rough. Let's see. He must have read what you were typing. Oh, yeah. Those are getting cheap too, the resin printers. Yeah, the only thing that I've heard people complain about is the smell of the resin, the photosensitive resin. But they make low odor, like they make different kinds as well. But yeah, it's the only thing I've seen. And also it's a little, like you have to kind of deal with a little bit more hazardous chemicals and be able to dispose of things. But yeah, but it eliminates a lot of the, kind of visible layering problems. Like you still have layers, but because they're, it's like a sliced, I guess there's a couple of different ways that they produce it, but the cheap ones are just like an LCD screen that just does the slices of the image and cures the resin, layer at a time. But yeah, but it supposedly gives you nicer detail and better results, but it's resin, like it's photo hardened resin, and you have to, after you print it, you got to clean it in alcohol. And some people are using ultrasonic cleaners, like for glasses or tools or whatever, to make sure that you get all the resin out, because the stuff's pretty caustic, I guess. You don't want to get it on your hands. So yeah, it seems a little bit harder to work with, because the plastic, the PLA and the ABS and stuff are just melted plastic. So it's, it just smells like melted plastic. But I guess the resin's got an odor that makes it hard. Like you're not going to have it in your kitchen or whatever. You can't have it. Oh yeah, that's right. It prints upside down too. Yeah, and the format for the resin ones is getting bigger and bigger. Yeah, and it's I guess though, from what I've just seen on like YouTube videos and things, the support structures, like the software you use and how you slice the files is different, because it needs a different type of support structure, because you're doing everything upside down, and you want the excess resin, the unhardened resin, to be running off of it, and so everything's at kind of at a 45-degree angle with supports, and so that's a little bit different aesthetic than going from the ground up, from the bottom up with the FDM, the heated ones. Yeah, right. Yeah, so I don't know. I'm curious. I'm definitely curious about the resin. Oh, and I saw the one company that I ordered the FDM printer from. They also do resin, like low-cost resin printers, and they just released a machine that's about the same size as their resin printer, and it's a washer dryer cleaner. It's a cleaner, I forget, it's not a hardener, but it's got a UV light and a agitated bath. Nice. But yeah, so I wonder if that makes it any easier to deal with the cleanup, if you can actually just move the print from one machine to another and just have it be hard. Because you either, like people just say, put it out in the sun to finish the hardening process, but you also have to either do a couple of different tanks, like a couple of tanks of isopropyl alcohol, or just the ultrasonic cleaner to make sure you get everything off of it. But then, yeah, what do you do with your dirty alcohol? I guess though, no, but I did see, somebody was like transferring it into a plastic bottle and then putting that in the sun, and so the particles that were still in the alcohol adhered to the sides of the bottle, and then you could just filter out, you could pour out the alcohol and filter it. Yeah, right, yeah, so it's all light cured. Yeah, so like those nail lights, those lights for the are those resin? Yeah, must be like some kind of, the resin nails and stuff. That's really popular here. There's so many nail places that, there's a lot of, a lot of that kind of equipment. Although the professional stuff is so expensive. But they do make, because nail art is big with the Asian ladies, so they have a lot of at-home setups and stuff for doing the UV curing, the resin curing. Yeah, they go gel nails. Yeah, I guess the gel is just I don't think it's resin, but they do some kind of something that's cured with the light the same way. Let's see. Oh, yeah. That's right. Like a rotating platform. Yeah, I can't believe how cheap. And that the company, that Anycubic company that makes the cheap ones, just made an even cheaper version, like almost like $150 version. I'm not sure how they save money, if they just made the print bed really tiny, or just like changed the quality of the parts, like added more plastic or something. But yeah, they're getting really, really cheap with the low cost printers. But they're not so much, you got to learn a lot about them to, kind of take care of, like the maintenance and stuff is a little bit, it's more than like an inkjet printer or something. You have to know a lot more, because the results aren't so consistent, and you got to kind of know, like if you have to manually level the bed, and you have to play around with the settings when you're slicing the file, you have to know a lot about what your printer likes and the material you're dealing with and stuff. So it's a lot more involved than just like, setting up a laser printer or a inkjet printer, because you don't get reliable results. But maybe someday, they're going to kind of standardize some of the process, and then, and I think for maybe the really expensive ones too, it's becoming a little bit more standardized. You get more reliable results, but you're also paying like $5,000. Oh no. Man. Yeah. And people get, there's some like German guy or something. I was watching his videos, and the, like all of the different angles you're thinking about in like fractions of millimeters and stuff. You're thinking about how you want the print to, reinforce things, and the infill, like how much support is actually going to be inside like the hollow part of whatever object. Yeah, there's a lot of the software is pretty good at kind of showing you what you're doing, and you can do that simulation where you kind of like scrub on a timeline, and it goes back through all the layers, so you can see like where things aren't working after you've sliced a digital file. But it's definitely a whole it's a commitment to learning. Oh no. 11 p.m. dinner. That's actually like the work week in just a guy with an office job, like what they call a salaryman here in Japan. That's actually pretty common, is like, dinner 10 or 11 o'clock and up at 6. The mornings, like, work starts a little bit later here, like 9 or 10 can be the standard. Like, you don't have to be at work so early, but you do stay late a lot of times. So yeah, that 10 o'clock dinner is not uncommon, and if you're trying to stay on a regular schedule, that's way too late to eat because you don't get enough sleep afterwards. You're going to bed very full. Have any have any ideas for this? Oh, strange. Sorry about the weird angle here. I keep forgetting the camera is on a tilt, so I'm like fading out. Oh, nice. Excellent. Oh yeah, I just saw, speaking of 3D printers, there's a tabletop like miniatures game for Fallout. They did all the characters and like major enemies and stuff. Probably more based on like Fallout 3, although they kind of recur. 3 and 4 have a lot of the same types of bad guys, but they did terrain, so like a vault walls and doors and things. They do free STL files for printing terrain for the Fallout miniatures game. That was pretty cool. I haven't seen the miniatures up close. If they're kind of board game quality, they're kind of low detail, but that's really cool that they're releasing stuff printable for yourself, so that they just give you like one wall section, but you can print like 20 of those and build the whole vault area. So they give you kind of one of each thing. So I thought that was cool. Oh yeah, the first I'm gonna completely blank on the name, but there's a little kind of miniature war game that's all 3D, all made for 3D printers. Like nobody has. I guess they to some of like the Etsy people and stuff, they'll sell a license so you can print and paint the pieces for the game. But basically, you just go to like DriveThruRPG or one of the digital sites and just download the rule book and then all the digital files for the models, and then you just print out the models and terrain, so like trees and little hills and stuff, and then all of these little machines. And it's basically like a Tesla style sci-fi. It's like if World War One, if at the end of World War One they had used Tesla technology, how different everything would be. So it's little kind of 40s, like I guess earlier than that, like 20s or 30s, kind of sci-fi looking ships and robots and stuff. But the whole game is you get all the digital files and everything for the game. So with like a war game, you want multiples of the same unit, so they'll give you one model and you just print it as many times as you want to have in your army. So I thought that was pretty cool. It'd be cool if things go that way. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, CAD would have been a good thing to study with this. Yeah, with 3D printing, that would have been a good skill to have. I can do a little bit of 3D, but yeah, mostly like just for illustration purposes. Not, I don't have any good practical sense of like industrial design or anything. So to make something that's going to stand up on its own or whatever, it's going to take a lot of trial and error. Yeah. Right. Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, because you can print. You can print like ABS and like pretty tough. Yeah, I'm not sure how strong the resin is. Then they say like PLA wears out. It's real sensitive to sunlight. It kind of breaks down, and they have like even the biodegradable PLA and stuff for safe and not dangerous to the environment kind of printing. But yeah, ABS I think is pretty strong. Yeah, that would be very cool. Yeah, as long as I think all that stuff is fair use as long as you're not selling it. Yeah, so anything that would be a trademark or copyrighted thing, if you're just doing it for your own purposes and you're not profiting from it, then there's nothing to sue you for. Like I'm sure some companies can come up with damages if you do something for your own personal use. It's not creating enough damage for them to sue you over. But if you if you make the files, like say you made a bunch of Chevy emblems and you put them on a website and let people download them for free or whatever, or you even charged a little bit, then they could kind of figure out damages, like how you hurt their potential business for them to do that, the rights holder to do that themselves. But it's all nonsense. You got to be a big enough target to make it worthwhile. Unless you're unlucky enough to be made an example of. That happens occasionally too. Yeah, like those kids that were sued by the recording industry, like in the Napster days, or no, it was probably after that. But they were like individually suing people, and then I guess that happened too with the just regular file sharing. They would sue people or make them pay fines for downloading. They would get their IP addresses and then just send them a bill and say, if you don't pay this, then we're going to sue you. And the internet, the companies like internet service providers must have cooperated with that to make it easy for them to do that. All right. So, yeah, I definitely thought during all this I'd have a lot more time to mess around with that printer. But, yeah, I did a test print from that Anycubic that I got, and that went well. But, of course, that file, they optimized it. It's all sliced and optimized to go as well as possible. So the one that's like included on the memory stick they give you, the memory, the USB thumb drive. But yeah, I wanted to do more with that over the break because there's a lot of cool, free stuff out there to experiment with, and then a lot of amazing stuff that people charge money for. But usually, if it's paid models, if it's like somebody that does digital sculpting and stuff, they'll give you a really good idea of what it's going to take to print it well. Because it's a business. They want you to have good results and keep buying their stuff. But a lot of stuff like the free stuff on Thingiverse and stuff, you just have to trust the users to post. Oh, I use these settings and it came out like this. But you never know. And there's still not total standardization with 3D printers, like what people are using in their settings. All right. Hey, Sedona. Nice to see you. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's right. Case mods would have been great for, if you could do like affordable 3D printing. That's cool. Okay. Oh yeah, that's right. They've got kind of the computer controlled laser cutters now too that will cut lots of stuff. They even like, will etch onto, like, you can take your phone, like, if it's got an aluminum case on it or whatever, you can like etch into your phone, or you can cut aluminum or acrylic or whatever for logos. That would be good. And I think there's places where you can have stuff custom printed, or even like rent time with a commercial laser cutter to do really to do more heavy duty stuff than like a home cutter would do. But kind of like the computer controlled router stuff, there's like laser cutting now with like more affordable home versions. But I think the strength of the laser, of course, is much less the wattage or however they measure lasers. Let's get rid of that. So I hope everyone's doing well in their current circumstances. There hasn't been any big changes since last time. Yeah, I have no idea. Things are kind of changing quickly here because we're getting more honest reporting about who's sick and where, because we're not trying to have the Olympics anymore this summer. So, yeah, we'll have to see how bad it gets. Oops, about that. I did not turn off my phone. Burgers. Oh no. Oh jeez. Now they're doing... Sorry, let me just check this real quick. Yeah, geez, the Ministry of Health is sending out notifications now on chat programs and stuff. Hell no. No veggie burgers here. Oh man. Yeah, it's kind of hard in Japan, the standard, and I think they learned this from Northern Europe or whoever started this, but you can't just get ground beef. It's much more rare to find only ground beef. It's always beef and pork mixed. So yeah, which makes it, it's more tender and juicy when it's pork, but you gotta know you're dealing with pork. It's a little more sensitive. You need to make sure it's cooked and everything a lot more than just a regular beef burger. But that's, it's really standard here is mix. So most hamburger places, they have really juicy hamburgers, but because it's not all beef, so that's very standard American style. Oh, interesting. Yeah, especially in America, I think that's the thing I've gotten sick on the most is undercooked hamburgers. Like one of those kind of gourmet places where they got the big burgers and then cook them all the way through, and you end up with some messed up some undead E. coli or something. That's nasty. But yeah, I had some bad Indian, bad Mexican food, all kinds of bad food poisoning experiences in Los Angeles. Yikes. It's funny too, but any restaurant because I have that letter grading system for the health department has the restaurants have to put the letter grade. So of course A is the best, and then it goes down to C, I think, is the letter where you can still stay open, but you need to fix things, and then D is like you're closed until until things are fixed. But in eating at a C restaurant never got sick, but restaurants that had A ratings, I had some of the worst food poisoning ever. Because it just depends on who's on the grill or how old the food they're going to try to serve you is. Yeah, there was in Hollywood, in Los Angeles, there's a little kind of Thai town area, so there's a little row of Thai restaurants, and all of the Thai restaurants have like C ratings. For some reason, the Board of Health is really tough on the Thai, and maybe they just don't, the way that they prepare stuff or the way that they're used to, because I think it's all, straight from, all immigrants straight from Thailand, so they're making pretty authentic food, and maybe their style of their kitchen is different. And so they always violate the health code, but it's good Thai food. And even though it's low rated, I've never gotten sick. But had some really horrible stuff. And only once in Japan. That's like really surprising. But yeah, Joe, they ground beef, if you just order like what you would assume to make like a hamburger, and usually they do like hamburger steak, so they don't put it on a bun, they just do hamburger steak. So just a big flat like oval shaped hamburger, kind of like Salisbury steak in the US. But they mix beef and pork, so it's always got some pork in it for the fatty goodness. So you got to know that, and you got to be much more careful with getting it on your hands and stuff. But I think that's a kind of a European thing, because I remember in Sweden, all of the hamburger places were really juicy, tender burgers, and it was because it was beef and pork. Yeah, that's a good point, Sedona. You don't even know, how many parts and what of, ground beef is dicey, and that's why it's so dangerous when it's undercooked, is because you don't know what parts are going bad and how old they are, and what parts have mixed with what. Oh man. Oh yeah, that's probably it with the Thai restaurants. They're looking for bribes, like they're holding their clipboard and they're waiting for the envelope, and it just never comes because there's a language barrier or something. Yeah, one of the Thai restaurants, though, I think that one of the oldest ones in Hollywood, the owner is an Elvis impersonator, so he's Thai. He's a Thai guy that does an Elvis impersonation, so he'll do performance. I forget, there's like a certain night of the week or something that he there's a little stage in the restaurant. It's a pretty big restaurant, and he does his Elvis routine, which is pretty infamous. I don't know if it's famous, but it's infamous in Hollywood. But I would recommend, if you go to LA, to eat in Thai Town. It's good, authentic Thai food. That's the funny thing, is America has so much authentic foreign food because it has so many authentic foreigners. Unlike, Japan has some, foreigners making their own food, but for the most part, they have to kind of change the recipes of things. It's not super authentic because the Japanese palate is a little bit different. It's a little more sensitive to things, and they like more subtle flavors and stuff. So cultures like Mexican food, or places that have, or even like Italian food, if you have like kind of heavy, bolder kind of flavors, it's not so popular. In Japan is a regular restaurant, so there's a lot of odd Italian food to kind of edited to fit the oh man, I'm sorry. Fit the Japanese palate. Yeah, I had a miserable night's sleep last night. It was one of those things where I tried to go to bed early, like I have to get up real early today for the university stuff. And it's like, I want some extra sleep, go to bed, wake up 2 hours later, and then don't fall back to sleep for the rest of the night. So it was one of those wonderful nights of just suffering. But That sounds good. Ah, yeah, interesting. Yeah, I can't imagine. Yeah, because I've worked at a restaurant and saw kind of the things that that went on as far as yeah, anything that was going to be a garnish. Like, you don't want to touch anything that is purely decorative in a at some restaurants, because they don't care how old or nasty it is. They just scrape the mold off of it and put it on your plate. So if it's for decoration, just, yeah, let it go. Don't eat any parsley or pepper points or anything off of your off of the plate. Yeah, that was shocking, because they don't throw anything away. So I had to learn that lesson. All right. I don't know what I'm doing on this one. Oh, garlic mashed potatoes, man, that sounds good. Yeah, they don't know mashed potatoes here at all. I mean, it's a rice country. So if you ever have like potatoes as a side dish, it's just like two little pieces or a little like tiny amount of mashed potato or whatever. It's just it's a novelty. It's not a real side dish. So they've got good potatoes here. Expensive, like potatoes can be pretty expensive, but I've made some good mashed potatoes, because you've got garlic and good cream and stuff here, so you can do some nice stuff. But as far as like, yeah, anybody's home cooking or any restaurants, you're never going to have good mashed potatoes. Oh yeah, beef here is insanely good because it's so heavily marbled. Like, all the beef is just like, it's like a spider web, like a net of fat. Like, the veins of fat are real throughout, so everything is so tender. I've just had so amazingly tender beef, and the portions are very small. Like, you can't get large steaks here. There's no big like 500 grams is like the biggest. Like, that's like insanely big for Japanese restaurants to serve. So everything is pretty small. I don't know what that transfers in ounces, but yeah, it's much more just like, quality over quantity, which I miss. I miss big, plate filling steaks, but especially the yakiniku style, the kind of Korean barbecue style, where they just give you the thinly sliced meat and you just grill it. That is insane. It's insane how tender that is. Yeah. Yuck. Sludge. Oh, that's nasty. Yeah, but the kind of price per 100 grams or whatever for Japanese beef is crazy. I mean, you can get $100 small fillet here, very commonly. That's the price of a nice Japanese fillet. Like, the Wagyu fillets are crazy expensive, but good. Definitely worth it. Like, all the stuff that's crazy expensive it's perfect. It's just like perfectly done. You don't get ripped off if you pay a lot of money, but you pay a lot of money. It's silly, some of the prices, especially restaurants here. Not even like amazing, like not even highly rated restaurants, the prices will just be insane. Now I'm drawing endless pie plates here. What's going on? Oh, that'd be great. Yeah, I had all kinds of weird jobs, but did never work fast food. I guess because I never lived like conveniently close. Never like when I was going to school and stuff. There was never anything that made it easy to do. And when I was growing up, I grew up in like shitty little suburbs and small towns that had like one fast food restaurant. But yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, here it's funny. The most of the fast food places are like 60-year-old women that are the staff, like women that like maybe don't have good retirement or never got married or whatever, and are supporting older family members. So a lot of the fast food is just like grandmas. It's not like teenagers working there. It's a lot of grandmas. So I don't know why fast food work is attractive to them here, but yeah, it's a very different feel at McDonald's or whatever. The staff is a lot older. 18 months of McHell. Ouch. Yeah, I think that would just be too much information. I don't think I could ever eat fast food again after seeing how stuff gets handled, and kind of like the packaging and stuff that it's sent in. It was bad enough the movie theater that I worked at. I didn't work the concession stand, but I got to see like the nasty practices of the concession stand, and made me never want, like they would have like extra popcorn that the place could have as much popcorn as they wanted, and it was never that tempting after seeing how they handled it. And yeah, like kind of where it came from, like the industrial size everything that it all came from. Like the popcorn, it looked like feed corn for cows or pigs or something, just these giant bags of corn. And I think I told that story too. There was the movie theater that I worked at was just like a Cineplex, like a mall Cineplex kind of place. And there's some corporate rule that you couldn't throw out. Like at the end of the night, they just took all the popcorn. They took a clean trash bag and put all the popcorn in it, and they just put it out in the dumpster. But the corporate rules were you had to put something on it so nobody would take the popcorn, take the bag of popcorn, because it was still really edible. Like it hadn't been too contaminated. So they would always be sweeping the floor and just dumping dirt or something in the bag of popcorn so that nobody was tempted to take it and eat it. But I'm sure still some people tried to, but that was, very odd. Don't want anybody, and I guess it was liability. Maybe the corporate thing was liability if you get sick off of their weird butter flavoring or whatever because you ate dumpster popcorn. Maybe they would be liable. But I always thought that was really bizarre. Oh yeah, of course. Hey, Hazmat or Shreddy. Hello, Shreddy and Hazmat. Good to see you. Oh yeah, and Hazmat is on Twitch. That's very cool. I have a Twitch viewer, a subscriber too. Very cool. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, Sedona. Yeah, the sakura flavored things are very good. It's not a floral flavor, like it's actually the Japanese cherry trees are actually make cherries, but they're very, like they're mostly seeds. Like there's not much actually fruit around the seed. It's mostly just a seed with a little thin layer, like a little skin and a thin layer. But it's actually good. It's a real mild, real subtle, a real subtle flavor. Not floral, but I can't compare it. If you just like, like the maraschino cherry, like you get on top of a sundae, not like the black cherries, but like one of those, like, whatever, those ones they soak in sugar or whatever. If you took one of those and just like diluted it, like, like step down the flavor and the sweetness like 50% or whatever, that's kind of the flavor. It's a really light cherry flavor, not floral, but just a fruit flavor. Yeah, so like the cherries in like canned fruit cocktail, they're all floating in that syrup. It's kind of a real mild version of that, but it's good. Hazmat is always here. Nice. But yeah, sakura flavored stuff is worth trying. It's always good. Like I think I had a sakura latte a couple weeks ago. That was great. That's a really nice light flavor. And always like if it's a Japanese version, like if it's an imported snack, it's always going to be like just barely sweet, like a really nice sweetness that's not too fake or overpowering. It's always going to be like a natural flavor with not much sweetness. That's kind of the style of stuff. Everything except like their kids stuff. Some of the kids snacks and stuff are that super sweet, American style snacks and candy, but most of the time it's real mild stuff. Oh yeah, it's almost full bloom. I think it is definitely full bloom in Tokyo, but it's almost full bloom cherry blossom season here, and just like nobody is out watching them, nobody's sitting underneath them. It's all like, worried about the weather. Yeah, so that's very very sad. All right, so let's do Oh, hey. Oh, thanks. Thank you for hosting. That's very cool. Much appreciated. Yeah, Sedona, it's definitely worth it. It's it's a nice flavor. It's not weird or offensive. It's not like, sometimes they make like rose candy or something. It's nothing like that, because it is actually like based on a cherry, an actual fruit. But I think it's hard to make that flavor because like I said, the cherries are not much of anything. They're very they bred those trees for the flowers, and so the fruit is kind of not so useful, not so thick and whatever I'm trying to say. But it's not. Yeah, it's harder to get that flavor from those trees. All right. Do I want to do that? Let's see. Okay. Is that the right size? Yeah, almost. Yeah, I don't know if, this is a very Japanese thing. I don't think this is going to read well. But this kind of square plastic container is what the tofu comes in Japan. Let me square that up a little bit. But I don't think... I'm trying to think. I had some really terrible, like Walmart tofu or something when I was in the U.S. But let's try this. Yeah, but it comes in this container with like a film over it. Oh yeah, yeah. Ever since they kind of gave up on the Olympics, the real information has been coming out. So things are getting worse. There's a lot more cases being reported, and there was a problem with, oh yeah, and the saddest thing is one of the kind of most famous Japanese comedians, kind of they called him kind of the Robin Williams of Japan, so good improviser and yeah, popular in that way. So Ken Shimura of this comedy group called the Drifters. So Drifters had been around since the 60s. They'd have like a nightly TV show, like different iterations of a TV show, and it was always kind of a comedy group. And he joined a little bit later, but became a really popular comedian. I think he was like in his like early 20s when he first was on TV. But he contracted the bad weather and died after getting anesthesia. Was going to go on a respirator, and they were giving him anesthesia, and he died. But the sad thing that I heard is because he's famous and loves to smoke and drink, like, you know, old Japanese people of that generation, he had friends that owned restaurants, like the big kind of izakaya style restaurants, and their business was going down because, you know, people are getting worried about being out socially, and so they asked him to come to the restaurant and, you know, help with if somebody famous shows up, then word gets out and the popularity of the place goes up. So they're suspecting that how he caught it was just helping out friends by patronizing their restaurant, because otherwise it's like, you know, he wouldn't have much chance to come into contact with things. But it's very sad. It's kind of like, you know, Groucho Marx died of some random flu in the U.S. It's very shocking because he was still in his like early 70s, but still really vital. And Japanese people live a bit longer, so their careers and everything go on a little bit longer. So he had planned, you know, had stuff that he was filming and planned and was coming up, and just had complications from, and also smoker, so compromised immune system and compromised respiratory. So put him on the respirator was too much, and he didn't make it. And the really sad thing that they described, I don't know why the news, I mean, there's some weird thing, I think both Japan and Korea do this, where they love to like make you so incredibly depressed by these weird details. Like they give you too much information and too many weird details just because it's excruciatingly sad. And the one detail that they gave out about his death was that the family wasn't allowed to view the body because they worried about the contagiousness of corona, and cremation is just standard in Japan. So they like heavily wrapped his body, and so it went from, you know, the doctor reported, something went wrong, he passed away, and then the next thing his family saw were just his bones after the cremation. So very morbid and weird details. And for some reason, Japanese news loves to do that. They love to make people just sad and anguished by just things. So that was a really gross detail from the report, but really unnecessary. But I think it's starting to make people take things a little bit more seriously when when the government's giving warnings and stuff. Now people are not like, that it doesn't mean me, that doesn't involve me now, because somebody famous that they we're always looking forward to, the whatever new thing he was working on, because he died, then people are much more they feel like, oh yeah, this does affect me, and this is a serious problem. But very sad. Yeah, it's a way too famous and popular a person to have that happen. But that's the scary thing, and probably all over Asia, is smoking is still, there's so many smokers still, and if it makes you more vulnerable to respiratory complications, then that's going to be bad. Just like they're saying the heavy weight, the obesity in America is going to make people more susceptible to complications from getting infected. So we'll see. This is all looking strange. Oh well. But so very sad. Sad story. How do you get any sort of closure? I mean, it's so science fiction, you know, to do that, to be worried about contaminate or infection, and to just wrap a body and then just have it cremated. Yeah, it's really crazy that. Yeah, and so especially because he's a comedian too, it was such a sad detail. It's like, God damn, can't we remember something fun or nice about his life and career? We have to. That's like the last memory we have. Well, just like Robin Williams, suicide, the hanging suicide, and like he was developing some serious medical condition that he didn't want to live with. Like that was pretty depressing too. So that's finally kind of sobered up Japan about that's crazy. Oh man. Indian police. Oh, that's crazy. Yeah. It's going to be strange how some of this stuff is going to get enforced. Yeah, because I saw there was some story about some soccer player that got arrested, I think in Europe, for sneaking out, breaking curfew to visit his model girlfriend, and he was arrested for that. It's like, yeah, pretty much. You're pretty much gonna have to expect that. That's really crazy, but it is like irresponsible. You're not thinking about others. You're just thinking about your model girlfriend. But that's weird. I don't know about this. It's just a weird thing. The punishment, like they're releasing nonviolent offenders from prison during this time, and then they're arresting people for breaking curfew or beating them if they're riding a motorcycle in India. That's crazy. Yeah, but there was the mayor of Chicago said something like people were still continuing to meet, by Lake Michigan and stuff in the parks, and she was threatening to get the police involved if people didn't stop publicly meeting. I can't imagine it's like huge. I don't know. Yeah, who knows? But very, very crazy, the responses to everything. Not a necessity. Yeah, I guess for the guy it depends on how long it's been. Yeah, that's crazy. And his model girlfriend was probably losing interest because she hadn't seen him play recently, so he was becoming less and less impressive as a boyfriend. Yeah, it's very funny. Yeah, I'm surprised that like couples that are quarantining together, and then the maybe long distance relationships, or people that have separate places that are quarantining separately, and how they're reacting to the good and the bad of being forced to cohabitate, or being forced to be apart. Both sound pretty miserable. Everybody is disputing that booty calls are not a necessity. Oh man. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing with that. Yeah, I guess we'll do a tofu joke. I don't know. Yeah, see, the lines are a little bit different. I guess it works. All right, something a little more minimal. Well, I screwed up. I had an FTP problem from last week, and my cartoons didn't get uploaded, so there's no comments from last week. It'll kind of be delayed, so hopefully they'll get into the system with the next update. So my last cartoons did not get viewed, so that'll be up. So I won't do comments. I'll just like continue on to the to coloring everything. But yeah, that was a surprise for me. I had no idea, because I haven't been back. I'm only back here like once or twice a week, and I didn't realize there'd been an error and nothing went through from last week. And I didn't get notified, so maybe everyone's working from home at the syndicator and everything. So it's very very different situation, very abnormal. Yeah, because usually if something happens to the update, I get notified right away. But yeah, nothing. I think I'll do water. Oh yeah, police drive pretty small. They're very weirdly specialized. They have a big, like the light kind of bar on the top. A lot of them, because they have to deal with highway stuff, it extends so they can like raise it up. So it's a heavily modified. I think it's Toyota though. I think Toyota got the contract for almost all like taxis and public vehicles and government cars and stuff are all Toyota. So I think they're I've got to double check. Yeah, but they've got a weird shape. They don't look like anything, any like civilian cars. Taxis are starting to be like hybrid Corollas, or the bigger, not I don't think they're Corollas, but they're kind of that size. So taxis are starting to do hybrid taxis here. They're not Priuses, although I've seen some Prius taxis, but the police cars I think are just a Toyota. And I've never seen like any high speed pursuit. I've never seen like what they actually are capable of doing. Yeah, they go by pretty regularly. They're kind of white on top, black on the bottom, like, horizontally layered, and then have a big red bar on the top. And I think they're all Toyotas. Yeah. They're a weird shape. They're not. They don't look like anything. Any other cars? I have to double check though. They make the Japanese version of Matchbox makes the car too, and they always list the models. So that'd be the easiest way. It's just on the Tomica website. You can probably find that most easily. Oh yeah, I was gonna do water, but I probably shouldn't do it blue. Maybe not gray though. Something like that. Oh yeah, I just found out my friend at university was talking about they just took a little family holiday and got their wallet stolen out of their rental car, and went to the police to report. Whoa, how did I do that? Report what had happened. And the first thing the police said is, okay, wait, you have a rental car and you drove here, but you don't have your driver's license. And I guess like that's a finable offense. Like you're reporting the theft of your driver's license. And that's a, yeah, so she said they had to pay a fine. It was only, she may have screwed up. I don't know if it was $300 or $30, but you had to pay a fee or a small penalty for not having your driver's license on you and operating a car, like driving a vehicle. It's so bizarre. I mean, if you're going to report your license was stolen, you can't drive there. You have to walk there. That's very weird. I'm missing this. Oh no. Put this down here. Yeah, I guess that reads as what it's supposed to be, but yeah, we'll see. Yeah, I don't even. That's funny. So when is Hyphonics getting married? I saw engagement photos, I think on Instagram, but and with with what's going on, I'm sure it's impossible to have set a date for anything. But yeah, I wonder. Yeah, I wonder how that's affected things. I had a friend in the Philippines that just got married, like right before things started to, quarantine and everything. So I was very happy. So he will have a quarantine honeymoon. So he'll be stuck at home with his new wife. And I guess that's the best of all possible outcomes. And that's funny too, because that's the weird thing about getting married in Asia is you're just instantly expected to have kids. Like, so most couples have babies in the first year that they're married. It's just a real standard thing. It's kind of like the practicality of marriage here is that's why you get married. So why wouldn't you immediately have kids? Right? Kind of old school. But yeah, so that's probably going to be his situation. I wonder if there's going to be a quarantine baby boom. That'll be so weird if there's a measurable amount of quarantine babies and they have to figure out a term for that. Oh, yeah. Yeah, postponed. Yeah. There's just no way to get things. And that's got to put a little pressure on the relationship too. Is things get postponed and then how quickly it is. Stuff get rescheduled. I think if my first marriage would have been postponed, I don't think it would have ever happened. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, it's just a weird time for everything. Nothing is normal right now. Okay. Yeah, maybe we'll have a whole generation of bad weather babies. Yeah, that wouldn't be completely impossible. In China, I can imagine there being a good number, especially because they lifted that a few years back. They lifted the one-child policy there. And what was so funny is as soon as they lifted the one-child policy, amazingly, like 8 million girls appeared that had been hidden, mostly like kind of the countryside. But they just don't register births of kids if they're going to have to pay money for them. So once it became legal, and then they got out of having to pay the penalty for having more than one kid, suddenly all these daughters appeared. It was, yeah, just so bizarre. I can imagine being born and having your parents telling you, well, you're going to have to be a secret because we don't have, $4,000 or whatever the penalty is. I'm sure it's probably something pretty steep. That's why people wouldn't pay it, and probably more well-off, like upper middle class people, just paid the fee. That's a really weird way to kind of socially engineer things. Don't let poor people. Well, I guess that's exactly what it was. Is don't let poor people in the countryside reproduce, so that the countryside is more populated than the more malleable voting groups in voting. There's not voting in China, but the preventing political uprisings in the countryside by not letting people have as many kids. That's bizarre. It's bizarre that people go for that kind of thing too. All right, there's my typical puddle reflection. Yeah, right. Oof. Yeah, so tell me the story of how you and Daddy decided to have me. Well, we were really bored because we were under quarantine, and then you came along. Yeah, right. Yeah, social media has made this all so much worse because you just see the most horrible examples of people hoarding stuff and fighting. I guess just like all the Black Friday videos and things we get to enjoy every year. People being so miserable to each other. Mm. All right. Oh, maybe let's do the cardboard a different color. There we go. Yeah, that'll do it. Familiarity breeds contempt, I think is the expression. Yeah, that's the difficult part. It's a great opportunity if things don't go wrong. I like physical activity as a euphemism. The bad weather is creating a lot of additional physical activity. All right. Do I want to do that? No, I don't know. Let's see. Oh. No, that's going to look just weird. We have to speak in a totally different language to talk about what's going on. All right. I'm doing that thing again. Maybe a little thicker. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this changes some people's thinking, like companies that thought it was so important to have everyone in the office, and now they realize, well, we can save a lot of money if we have, accounting work from home or whatever. And a lot of things just won't go back. Like if any kind of surveillance state things are approved and start to be more commonplace, just like after September 11th, like things are not going to go back. The level of surveillance or monitoring or whatever is going to stay the same as it was during the temporary need for people to report on each other because they had looked like they had fevers. I don't know. Yeah, that's definitely going to be the case in China because they implemented so much reporting software and stuff to rat on your neighbor if they looked like they had any kind of illness, and that's just going to be switched over to and were they saying anything against the government? That's a reportable offense as well. It's really depressing. Oh, what was that? Yeah, I don't know if you guys can hear that street noise. Sometimes it seems really loud. But maybe the microphone doesn't. Especially this microphone is, I think, gated pretty well, so you're not hearing like the air conditioning and stuff make noise. Yeah. Yeah, but hopefully, with the interest rates lowered, I think getting loans on stuff, it might be good timing, though, when things start to recover. If you want a small business loan, there might be very good offers because there might be some motivation to get small businesses, especially back on their feet as soon as possible. Yeah, but who knows? All right. Oh, cool. Yeah, you could hear it. Okay. All right. Put this here. I don't know if that's going to read. All right. Wow. It's already been 2 hours. That's crazy. It felt like nothing at all. Yeah, well, that's the thing. It definitely K5, better products and better practices. Like people now have been told how to wash their hands, and everyone's going to be doing it like surgeon style from now on. Yeah, that'll be weird though if everyone is like stays super conscious. Oh my god, conscious of shaking hands and being too close to somebody. We have this whole like new idea of like distance. Yeah. Oh, that's good. Oh yeah, definitely do your LLC or whatever to give yourself some protection. Well, I guess depending on the size of stuff, but that's the cool thing about the U.S. is the limited liability companies. You can put a layer of legal protection between you and whatever maniac is going to decide to sue you. What's going on here? I think I've got some Oh, that's wrong there. That's why. There we go. Okay. I've got some memory issues here. All right. Oh, wow. Oh, that's a great idea. Oh, that's very cool. Words are hard. Yeah, I can't believe I'm talking and then archiving all of my talking. Yeah, that when recording like reviews and stuff for the podcast, it's very frustrating. Sometimes you'll realize how, when you're not paying attention, how difficult certain words are to say, or how you don't think about how stupid things sound. Sometimes you get stuck. There we go. Yeah, something's going on. Get stuck on words. And it's only when you've got the pressure of recording it that you keep saying something wrong. Is that what you're doing? Are you extracting cannabinoid oils, Sedona, from your garden at home? Oh, that's cool. Well, that's very cool. I still don't know why this is happening. Okay, there we go. All right. Wow. That definitely sounds like a business. Oh. All right. Now. Oh, that's right. Yeah. Convenience store. Oh, that's. I forgot about that. That's right. Well, that's got to be, the difficulty of marketing all the CBD products is, people are just like, oh, things are legal now, so I can have pain relief because I'm high, or I can have, all the different effects. It's so funny, though, that there is just so, once you take all the THC out, there's still so much benefit from everything in cannabinoid chemicals that we don't even know yet. I don't even know how to isolate things. Okay, so, oof. Yeah, this is going to be a rough convenience store. This is going to be a rough convenience store segment, but let's switch over because I got to write. But this is fish sausage. So let's see how this goes. All right. Oh, back up here. All right. So today, this is something I've been putting off for a while. This is pretty prevalent. It's a pretty prevalent snack in Japan. I think just recently they've started to have different varieties of these in convenience stores, because they're a snack for kids. They're like a healthy snack for kids. And if you've had ramen before, Japanese ramen, you probably kind of know what this is a little bit. But they call these fish sausages. I think that's what they're calling it here. What do they call it? Sorry. Oh, fish paste cake, right? So I got the cheese version because I thought that might make it a little bit better. But there we go. So these are sausages in a casing, in an inedible casing. It's just they're in plastic. But but this is called kamaboko. Kamaboko is the fish cake or fish paste. And if you've had ramen, that little weird slice of white stuff So sometimes it's like a crescent, like, and the outside of it is pink and the inside of it is white, like a thin slice of something, just kind of floating in your ramen. Or if you know the anime Naruto, the kind of, it has like a jagged pattern on the outside and then a pink spiral in the middle. That's also kamaboko, but that's the uzumaki. The spiral is from Naruto area, Naruto City, and so that's how it got its name, and that's what that anime is kind of named after. But this is a cheese snack, so like a 4-cheese version of kamaboko. So it's a fish sausage, and so you'll see many of these at the grocery store. You'll see these with characters printed on them, so they'll be like Disney princesses or like, you know, Power Rangers or something printed on the casing, as to make it more attractive for kids, because it is a healthy snack. But I guess if we're talking about you know, mysterious things like ground beef. Yeah, so it's fish. I'll show you the consistency of it. Oh, I hope I can get this open. So you see, it's done like a sausage, it's got metal. Sorry, let me try to get the focus going here. It's just got little metal clamps on the ends to hold it in, and it's fish easy cheese. Yeah, exactly. But it's a little more. It's got a little more substance than that. So this is going to be fish cake, fish sausage. Wait a minute, I forget how to open these. I think you just have to bite them, actually. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, fish cake with cheese in it, which I thought might make it a little bit better. Oh, wow. Yeah, it's very fishy. Yeah, this would have been something fun to send to Hyphonics, but I wasn't sure if it would make it through customs, because it is kind of a mysterious thing. But as you can see, it's got more, it's more rigid, more like string cheese or something, but it's fish. This is just like boiled down fish paste that's in like steamed kind of to solidify. Yeah, but this is like a really, really old style packaging. Like they've been doing it like this forever. So it's basically just produced like a sausage. Like they just do lengths of them and then cut them apart. And sausage casing. So they've tried to always promote this as a snack for kids. Let me see how old this is. The type of food, not this necessarily. This one is not expired. Yeah, they don't say how old this style is, but it's got to be from yeah, you can hear it's kind of squeaky. It's very rubbery. So with the cheese in it, you can tell it's not the consistency of cheese. It's a little bit more rubbery. It's a weird consistency. I can't really compare it to anything in the U.S. Because it's stuck together pretty hard. Like it's pretty firm and doesn't crumble. Here we go. When it breaks, it just kind of it's very rubbery, so it doesn't crumble or crack. But you'll see slices of this kind of style of thing in ramen quite often, and it's just usually a garnish because they can make them really colorful. And sometimes around the holidays, they'll do a really thick one, and kind of like the ribbon candy, they'll do a pattern, so it'll be like Santa Claus. The cross section will be Santa Claus. So if you cut it this way, you'll have many little fish cakes with a picture of Santa Claus on them. I don't know the relationship, but I guess you put them in your homemade ramen or whatever. But you can get like Santa Claus and sometimes characters, faces that are just, dye or whatever that goes through the whole length of the fish cake, and you just slice it and you have infinite, little pictures of whatever character or Santa. Yeah, so it's not. It's definitely fishy. It smells like a like a pet snack, like a fish-based pet snack, but it's very tender, very. It's not hard to chew. But that it's made from fish is very disturbing because it doesn't have any consistency of anything that's slightly resembling fish. Just the smell is the only thing. Oh, wow. Yeah, durian. Ugh. Well, those things are crazy. I think you can get those. I remember the Chinese grocery store in LA had them. Not regularly, but you could occasionally get them. But yeah, so this is and there's also another fish cake called chikwa that you see sometimes in the some sort of like hot soup based winter foods, what they call oden. It's like a soup, like a thin fish broth that has all kinds of tofu and radish and stuff like soaking in it and floating in it. And a version of this that's like tube shaped, instead of it being like a solid, like a sausage, they make it so it's like a tube. So there's a hole through the whole center of it. That's often a food. You can buy that as a snack too. Oh yeah, a lot of the import grocery stores have kind of imports from all over Europe and even Australia. Like you can get sometimes they'll have Australian imports. Tim Tam. I don't know if that's Australian, but most Australian people I know are familiar with it. But I don't know where those are from. Those might be European. But there's a lot of different snacks and things from other countries that you can get. I think because Japanese people travel so much, certain things become popular. Because Japanese people, the tradition is when you travel, you bring back gifts for everybody that you know. So all your coworkers and family members and friends, you bring back small gifts of where you went, and something that usually they're famous for, like a snack or a little snow globe with the Statue of Liberty in it, or whatever. Whatever kind of like cheesy little souvenirs, or usually food. They like to do food as gifts. But yeah, so it's not bad. It just doesn't smell very good, but it does. The taste is almost nothing. Like the cheese taste is actually stronger than the kamaboko taste itself. Just smells a little funky. It's all. It would have been a good mystery gift for Hyphonics, but maybe someday try to get them through. Sorry, I'm chewing a squishy, rubbery thing close to the mic, but yeah. So that's if you're wondering what that weird slice of something that has a little pattern or design on it is floating in your ramen, it's fish cake. It's kamaboko, and it's just a garnish. And it doesn't, if you've ever tried it, it doesn't have a hugely strong flavor. But yeah, Japan likes a weird selection of import stuff. So along with their domestic snacks, there's a lot of like Belgian chocolate and all kinds of imported stuff. But it's very random. Like it's the stuff that they decide to import is very, very random, and it changes a lot. Sometimes you get something for a while and then it'll just disappear. All right, so that is the fish cake with its like industrial packaging. Yeah, so they have to, the tape here, there's a little slice in the plastic, and otherwise, like if there was no slice, if there was no perforation in this plastic, it would be very hard to get into. Fish cake ASMR. It would be really hard to open this. The plastic's pretty thick without that little pre-slice, so because it's sliced, you can just kind of tear it off, or like I did, bite it off. But if they didn't do that, this would be pretty hard to get into. You'd need a knife or something to actually get through that plastic. So they're very safe. You can, they'll stay that way for a while. I don't know. Maybe if they get too old, though, they'll burst open from a rotting fish cake. But yeah, so that's what this tape and the that cut is just so you can open it from one end. But that's it. That's your fish sausage snack. And it's not terrible. I'm sure I probably have fishy breath, but yeah, the cheese helped a lot. I think only the fish flavor. The flavor's pretty mild, but it's not delicious. It's just there, kind of like tofu. It's just it's a flavor that needs supported by something, some green onion or shoyu or something, soy sauce or something. All right, so back to the writing part. There we go. All right. Yeah, I'll put a warning on the convenience store page of convenience store ASMR. Ah, oh, this is good. Yeah, it's a cheap. Who is this? Yeah, but this is like a big bottle of cheap green tea. Oh, I can't see who the maker is, but yeah, it's the yeah, Itoen. That's why it's cheap. It's the cheap version of the nice green tea, but it's very big bottle and very inexpensive. Yeah, I think that's a lot. That company is. Oh, below. Oh, oh, that's the character that I drew was the protection. That was the joke. From last week, I drew the Amabie yokai character, the Japanese monster character, and the legend of that character is anybody that sees that image is safe from disease. So it's very popular now in Japanese social media. All the illustrators are drawing that little mermaid-looking monster. So that was my joke. It's protection, protection from any pandemics, because that character appeared, and it's an odd combination, but told you there'd be 6 years of bountiful harvest and protection from illness. So definitely, if you're a small farming village, that's the best news possible. So why not make up a monster that tells you that? But yeah, so that was just all over social media. So it's just a link on my Box account, box.com account, to download that JPEG that I made. That's all. So if you wanted to see that in higher resolution other than the stream, but looking at it does, keep you completely safe. Yeah, it's funny. All those like kind of folklore things. There's a lot of that in Japan, though. A lot of funny superstition, and also, it's not, you don't call it. I guess you can call it superstition, but when it's built into a religion. But Shinto, the original kind of nature religion of Japan, that kind of Buddhism was installed on top of, that original nature religion has a lot of numerology in it. So there's like lucky numbers and lucky days and unlucky numbers. And so a lot of the times dates are very important. And also it gets really complicated, but so dates are really important, the number of a date. So if you're doing construction or doing a new project or starting a business or something, you want to choose a good number to have that happen on, and you want to avoid any unlucky numbers. But the unlucky numbers are totally different, and I'd have to look them up, but totally different from kind of Western thinking. So there is a 13th floor on every building in Japan, but often there's not a 4th floor, because the number 4, one of the pronunciations of the number 4 in Japan is shi. So it's yotsu or shi, and shi means death. So a possible pronunciation of the number 4 also means death, because there's not enough sounds in the language. So there's so many things that are the same sound. So they don't want to have a death floor in the buildings. So they often skip the 4th floor. So that's just a weird superstition, but based on, kind of their sensitivity to numbers from the Shinto religion. So that means a lot of times you're paying attention to good luck and bad luck. And, the idea of like evil spirits or unhappy spirits is very popular. And also in Buddhism that exists as well. So you have like purification of things. And for like the wedding, so our wedding in Japan, we had to drink sake that was really strong, like almost like rubbing alcohol or something. It was very strong, but it's very high proof because it's sterilizing. Yeah. You've heard that 4 thing before. So it's funny. It's 4 here, and it's 13 for some reason in a lot of Western countries. But we had to drink 3 sizes of like ceremonial cups of this really strong sake, and it was a purification thing. It's like just like a ritual of like renewing yourself as you're becoming a couple. But Yeah, so that was very funny. And so it's not cups, it's actually just almost like saucers, like plates, like very shallow saucers. So these big wide saucers, and you have to drink from them. And and I forget too, you had to take like a certain number of sips from each plate. Yeah, there was so much number stuff. It's too much numerology. But yeah, you did like 1, 2, 3, maybe 3. I think 3 is a good number. So you did 1, 2, 3, and then like a 1, 2, 3. So you took 9 sips of really strong sake at the wedding ceremony. But yeah, that's one of those traditional things. So a lot of numbers involved. All right, and now we're making. Oops, what's going on here? There we go. Oh yeah, and you'll notice, yeah, so just as a bad weather precaution, I decided not to drink during the live streams for a little while because, yeah, any alcohol is going to lower your immune system, suppress your immune system a little bit. So I figured it's not probably the best thing in the world to do and then go get on public transportation. So I'll skip that for a while. I'll wait until the coast is clear, and then I'll bring more ridiculous alcohol. And then when it gets warm, ice cream onto the live stream. Oh yeah, it's really high proof, but you don't drink so much of it. And like my wife is really tolerant to alcohol, but she just took really tiny sips just as part of the ceremony. But I think I finished all 3 of the little cups, but it wasn't so bad. It's not so bad. And it's nice because it just kind of relaxes you because the ceremony is kind of stiff and a little bit lengthy. So it made it a little bit more easy, but the idea is kind of renewal. Yeah, it's kind of a cleansing, like a purifying. So there's a lot of purifying stuff and a lot of purifying imagery in like Japanese ceremonies. Oh, tea time. All right. So I'm going to better angle here. I'm just writing, so I guess it doesn't have to be right in my face. Yeah, I wasn't drunk before or after my Japanese were my first wedding though, because we did the kind of bachelor party the night before. I'm so glad. So we did an evening wedding. My first marriage was an evening wedding. And I'm so glad it was, because if we would have gotten married like before noon or around noon, I would have not have even been sober at that time. Yeah, we did the bachelor party thing and I was still crazy drunk for most of that day. So we had an evening wedding, so that made it much more tolerable. Yeah, that was brutal. That was the worst hangover I've ever had in my life. All right. So, toilet paper jokes. So, So, scarcity or so he never imagined, and I can type better. He never imagined something in a crisis. He never imagined toilet paper being so necessary in a crisis. Well, that's the very straightforward version of that idea. Oh, yeah, sneezing. Right. Yeah. Oh, yeah, so toilet paper not being used for... only being used for its purpose. Yeah, that might be better because I'm kind of contrasting the two paper. Yeah, you think you have a disgusting You think facial tissue has a disgusting use. Wait till I tell you about that. Yeah. I can't remember. That feels familiar. That feels like I've tried to do. I've done it. I don't know if I've done exactly that, but yeah, some kind of toilet paper joke. Yeah. I never imagined. Oof. Would be, yeah, if I miss too many words here. Intervention toilet paper would be so necessary in a crisis. So important, so vital. Yeah, I guess out of the context of bad weather and hoarding, like once this goes in the archive, it's not going to make a heck of a lot of sense with just important toilet paper, because people are going to just think of the use. Right. Yeah, so they were the same. Let's see. Opposite ends. Oh, there's okay. Yeah, there's got to be an opposite ends joke for tissue and toilet paper. Yeah, because sneezing. Yeah, so sneezing and blowing your nose, and then toilet paper. They were opposite ends, and another typo. Oh, sorry. Oh, yeah. Opposite ends of a important. Oh boy, I gotta spell hygiene, huh? That doesn't look right. Is it this? Yeah, maybe. Oh, I wanted to say something grand or big, like superstructure or system, or they were opposite ends of an important hygiene protocol. Yeah, that's got to be funny. You have an excess. You have warehouses waiting to get out to the rest of the country. Oh, man. Good lettuce joke. Okay, of a vital hygiene. What's a procedure? Yeah, opposite ends. Yeah, definitely take away the current event. Yeah, exactly. Nobody fought over tissue, even though it was exactly the same thing. Oh, wait a minute. Is that better than opposite ends? Yeah, nobody fought over tissues. Hygiene crisis. Yeah. Yeah, crisis is good. It's super important. They were they were both opposite ends. I really like the fighting thing, although that might get lost in time as well. Yeah, they're the same thing, but one people were riding over and one they were not. Crisis, yeah. There's something there. Okay, let's let that sit for a minute. Oh, great. And yeah, the other one's tofu. Oh, actually, and this is just procrastination, the tofu should probably have some drips on it so it can be wet. Let's just put this here. Okay, that's not right. Oh, and it didn't give me my selection. There we go. Oh, it did. No, I don't know. I don't know how I did that. Okay. Yeah. All right, and maybe here too. Whoops. All right. And then some little highlights here. Yeah, that doesn't need it. Okay, moist tofu. Nice. Something running. That's good. Yeah, so now the tofu is nice and moist. I like that. Yeah, they were opposite ends. Of an endless battle with dripping, running things. I don't know. Let's see. Okay. Oops. Trying to get this kind of even. Maybe the top line. Yeah, there we go. They were opposite ends of an endless battle. The biggest weather in history. Let's see. Opposite ends. It's still like opposite ends. It's a funny image. Maybe endless war. Dripping, running. Maybe dripping, runny. Wet. Drippy, runny, wet things. They were opposite ends of an endless war on drippy, runny, wet things. Yeah. So, sorry. So I was thinking, yeah, sorry about that cough. If anybody's got ear headphones or anything on, let's see, they were opposite ends of an endless war isn't good. Dripping, runny, wet things. Drippy, runny, wet things sounds funny. Opposite ends of an endless war. Battle against... That's not getting any better. They were opposite ends of an endless battle, spelled correctly, against dripping, runny, wet things. Yeah, and there's not going to be any wetness in the cartoon, so it helps. An endless campaign? That just sounds political. Yeah, drip, nasal drip, runny nose, wet, everything else. An endless fight. Okay, fight might be better than battle and war if I spelled it right. They be opposite ends of an endless fight against drippy, runny, wet things. The rhythm of that is not great, but I'll give it some time and come back. All right, now we have wet tofu. Too many adjectives. Okay. Yeah, so the wetness makes it look more like, or feel more like birth. I would have these kind of packages for tofu anywhere else. Hopefully, it'll look somewhat familiar. Let's see. Oh, okay, here we go. More procrastinating. Let's do a little bit of this as well. It never ends. There we go. Oh, endless battle on both ends. Yeah. Oh, good. Okay, you've seen that. Yeah. So I get worried that I'm just drawing like very, very specifically Japanese things that no one is gonna recognize, because that's become like everyday stuff for me. But yeah, I don't even think about it. Yeah. So this big block of tofu. So you strip off that film, and then over the sink you kind of just turn it in your hand, and then you just take a big knife and then you just quarter it and then throw it into whatever you're making, if it's like a hot pot, or whatever kind of thing. So you just usually just boom and then put it in, or you can slice it thinner, I guess, if you need to. But it's always like it's a wet block and you're just like slicing on top of your hand because it's very easy to cut. All right. I like, endless battle on both ends is good. Yeah, because this is, brevity is always, short and sweet is better than too much word. Oh, instead of opposite ends. Yeah. Oh, that's good. That's much shorter. They fought. Oh, that's one short little line. That's good. Let's see. Yes, so instead of two fronts, you know, the multiple fronts in a war, it's both ends. They fought an endless battle on both, and finished the joke on both ends. Yeah, that's great. That's much briefer and maybe less nauseating. An endless battle. Yeah, endless battle on both ends is good. Good. Yeah, when you can get that a short line, it's much, usually much more effective. They fought an endless battle on both ends. Nice. All right. So, why is this wet tofu so wet? Let's see. So, a birth joke? So the real world was cold and harsh. Oh, maybe 3. Cold, bright, and much less vegan than he had hoped. Again, I'm a little long, but and double A. Tofu's vegan, right? Yeah, because vegan is just no animal products. The real world was cold, bright, and much less vegan. Is vegan capitalized? Oh, that's a question. Let's see. No, vegan food, I think, is an adjective. If you say I am a vegan, maybe capitalized. No, maybe not. Oh, they do capitalize vegetarian. That's weird. Oh, okay, yeah. I guess there is a difference. Let me see which one I'm using. Oh, weird. Yeah, it's vegan with a capital V is stricter. And vegan with a small v is eggs and dairy are okay. What? Oh, wait. A very small person who was a vegetarian but added. Okay, and then vegan, capital V. Oh, the society in the UK. Okay, so if we're not talking about the society, then we don't have to capitalize anything. Vegan society. All right. Yeah, I don't know if it's vegan either. It's just beans, right? Yeah. Okay, let's ask Google. I was just going to say, not all. Yeah, because there are certain... Like if there's a vegan society in the UK, then there must be a set of rules. Okay, Google says, yes, tofu is vegan. It isn't made out of meat or dairy. But it's probably not kosher. Yeah, because it's just bean curd. It's just like fermented beans. Or, yeah, I guess it is. Yeah, like a cheese made from beans. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it is. It's just, yeah. For most people, I'm sure there are rules that would eliminate it. All right, let's find a better line there. The real world. Let's see. The real world was cold, bright, and much less vegan than he had. Maybe he had once thought. And I did the same thing. Once thought, no, the real world was cold, bright, and much less vegan than he had once. Than he had assumed. Because being tofu, he would be. Yeah, had assumed, I think. Assumed sounds sillier. Yeah, the real world was cold, bright, and much less vegan than he had assumed. Yeah, that's good, because coming from a very bean-based point of view. Okay, they fought an endless battle on both ends. I like that. That's very short. Outside world is better maybe than the real world. That sounds a little too matrixy. The real world. The outside world was cold, bright, and much less vegan than he had assumed. That's a long one, but or should I just go the outside world was much less vegan than he had assumed? That'll look like let's see. No. What? Okay. And oops. The outside world was cold, bright, and much less vegan than he had assumed. I think that's working. All right. Yeah. Yeah, just trying to make it a little... Oops. Oh, I did that again. Sorry, I was saving the file and I maximized the traffic cam. There we go. Sorry about that. The longer, yeah, the outside world was cold, bright, and much less vegan than he had assumed. Yeah, I think it's better to have that 3, cold, bright, and much less vegan. All right. Oh, I'm sorry, is the longer line meaning the one line? So the outside world was much less vegan than he had assumed. Yeah, I don't know. It's just, trying to reinforce the idea of the birth joke. So outside the packaging, he's in the cold. Well, the packaging is pretty transparent, so I guess it's bright. Isn't that accurate? Loud? Was loud, bright, and much less vegan than he assumed. Yeah. Oh, cold and bright. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I think that that gets across the birth joke a lot better. Thank you. So that vegan, that's a vegan joke for you, Sedona. I was trying to think of what I was going to do with tofu, and you mentioning vegan helped make that make a little more sense. All right. So they fought an endless battle on both ends. That's beautifully short. That's good. And the outside world was cold, bright, and much less vegan than he had assumed. All right. There we go. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and it's yeah, that's a good structure. It has a good rhythm too. All right. Well, I think that is gonna do it. And I don't have any other drawings to sketch or to color this week. Wow. 3 hours. Whoops. Can I actually do this? Let's see here. Yeah, so I think this is good. Let me just spell check in case I'm reading something completely wrong. Nope. There we go. The outside world was cold, bright, and much less vegan than he had assumed. But an endless battle on both ends. That's short and spelled correctly, but just in case. Okay. Good, good, good. Wow. That was quick. Yeah, I'm definitely not going to hit that 6 hours again very easily. I'm definitely going to have to bring something else to the live stream. Wow, yeah. April 2nd. I can't believe, yeah, this Wednesday is April. Wow, this has gone, yeah, it's been a whole month of bad weather. Yeah, my daughter's been off school since March 3rd. Jeez. So, by the end of this week, it'll be a month. That's crazy. All right. Oh, I don't. Yeah, I need to. I've never. Is that? Can you? Is that software or is it a website? Omegle. I haven't ever used that. I see that on Hyphonic Stream all the time. Is that like a chat roulette kind of thing? Yeah, is it like random? Is that why he uses it? Because it gives you like random people? Yeah. I don't know. Okay, that's right. And then here. There we go. All right. There we go. Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, so it's just random random video chat. That's crazy. But it looks like it's a little safer than is it chat? I want to know what I'm thinking of, but yeah, there's one that's not safe to randomly see people on. That's crazy. I'll do this here. You do not want to go. I see. K5 would never lead me astray. He would never make me do something totally ridiculous. Yeah, that's got to be... What? Oh, okay. That's got to be funny. Yeah, not family friendly. Really? Oh, interesting. Ah. Yeah, I would suspect any random thing can be pretty brutal. That has to be hard to control. It's got to be terrifying to see what people are doing, especially at this time of night. What people are doing in their dark rooms with video cameras on or webcams on. All right. Okay. I remembered to get everything sent. There we go. Wow. Yeah, I can only imagine. So what's going on? I guess now that I'm not drawing, I can make the traffic a little bit bigger here. Yeah, that was a taxi, yeah. That standard black car with the one little sign on the lit sign on the top. Oh no. Wow, nothing too exciting. Lots of minivans. I love their and there's some little those would definitely be like micro vans. Those little tiny Keisatsu cars are very small vans. So it's weird because they're real narrow wheelbase, but they're kind of tall for a small car. So I imagine they blow over pretty easy. Oh man, yeah, I got to come up with another thing to do, especially when I don't have comments to read. Oh yeah, I can do that. Yeah, I should move. I wish I could. I should put that camera on a suction cup or something with a swivel, so I can kind of just move it around a little bit. Something different. I got to figure out somehow to keep it against the glass though. Yeah, no, not a lot of kids. There's very few big families. 4 kids is crazy for Japan. So usually it's 1 or 2 kids. Usually 2. People aim for 2 kids for some reason. But I guess it's just the utility of it. I don't know. It's weird though. When the vans are so small though, there's no cargo or storage space. It's just the 2 seats you can put forward. So I'm not sure. But yeah, they just like those little vans, and maybe it is just the style. It's a little bit more room for shopping and stuff in the back seat, but yeah, it's basically the same kind of size as a. Oh, maybe it's just the headroom too. That's true, because a lot of the small cars in Japan, there's 0 headroom. You're right underneath. So it might be that. Yeah, no. Trucks are almost only commercial. Nobody drives. Very few people drive pickups or SUVs as their kind of regular car, their family car. So you only see the commercial versions. So contractors and construction and stuff will drive small pickups, and they're the small Japanese pickups too. The little Toyotas that terrorists love so much. Oh yeah, no. I'm totally on the opposite end of the big island from the Fukushima power plants, and but I'm pretty sure, because we haven't had any updates at all since the government took control of the company that was managing the power plants. I heard though that still that it's just a quarantine area, still that there's just houses that people don't go back to, and that some people and journalists and maybe even YouTubers and stuff have tried to go into that area and just take video, and you get arrested for trying to show what's going on. But and they just confiscate your footage. I don't know if you actually are fined or whatever. But no, I've heard that there's still it's going to be decades of cleanup because their initial attempts at it were risking the people's health, the workers' health, too much. So they kind of pulled back from that. But and we didn't the earthquake that caused that tsunami that that created the whole Fukushima, the Tohoku area disaster. We didn't even feel on our end of the island. So, and it's like that too because it's mostly volcanic rock. So sometimes you'll get if it's not in the near the lined up the right way or whatever, like it gets absorbed. The earthquake doesn't make it all the way across. So it's crazy. Yeah, but I think some areas have been reclaimed, but there's still areas that people are not going back to. And I'm sure closer to the power plant, they've probably not done as much cleanup because they still don't have that completely under control. They're sending robots and things underwater, but I don't think they quite know what's going on. But there hasn't been updates on that in a long time. So they really don't. And the Japanese government is not very transparent, and they don't feel they owe much to the and the media is not as motivated to get any special information or deeper stories or anything. They don't want to because I think they know that the government will go after them if they're too critical or expose something too embarrassing. So it's not in their best interest to do that, so they just don't. So it's very different from kind of Western media where you have investigative journalists and people trying to find out the truth and the real situation. That just doesn't happen here as much, and people are more okay with that. Yeah, it's kind of weird. But so that's the non-situation. I mean, that was like that is the biggest disaster in the history of Japan. And yeah, it's just like, that's still a thing, but we don't know kind of what's going on. But it did cause a big anti-nuclear power movement in Japan. So the power plants are, powered down. They're turned off for like cleaning and maintenance, like on a regular schedule of every so many years. And every time that's happened, they've turned off the reactors and they don't turn them back on because the protest is so strong in those areas because they don't want that kind of thing to ever happen again. But then the cost of energy keeps going up because if you're not using nuclear power, then you're burning oil or coal or whatever is fueling your power plants, your electric plants. And so the utilities in Japan are insanely expensive. That's why like Bitcoin mining and stuff is just not possible. There's no way that you could possibly mine fast enough to pay for the power usage because the electricity is so expensive here. So there's just no way to do that. So there's Bitcoin traders, but I don't think there's actual miners in Japan because you can't get cheap electricity unless you're stealing it. You can't get cheap electricity. So that's a very funny difference. But yeah, I'm trying to think of what else. Maybe we can take a look at. Maybe I'll drag some stuff into Photoshop so I can show you guys what I was talking about with the character stuff. Let's see here. All right, so I don't remember what some of this stuff was. Yikes. The final version. So I think this was the final version of the Crepes Bunny. Let's see if this makes it. There he is. Yeah, so that was the let's squish the traffic down again. So that was the rabbit I did for the crepe shop. So 2 different versions. I think they went with this version, the little capsule looking one. But yeah, so there's some character work. And What else? Oh, wait. Oh, I did some. That's right. There's a chicken restaurant, like a yakitori, like I think it's. Oh, I don't remember. Yeah, but I think it's a chicken. It's either fried chicken or just grilled chicken restaurant that did their own beer. So I did characters for the beer labels. So, and I forget what the here's the names of the beers were, but they're like it's like a dark beer and amber. Oh yeah, it's a dark and amber and a. So how do I? Oh, there we go. Yeah, so here's the amber. And so this was the mascot, the rooster with the instead of an S, it's a Superman R, and here's the gold. Yeah, I completely forgot. I gotta update my portfolio, and here's the gold. Yeah, so the gold king and it was like a romantic amber. There was something like romance related. So chicken girlfriend, and the stout or the black beer was the bad boy. Yeah, so there's chicken. So these were the characters for just the labels of the beer. So they were just like put into like a scroll work with the name of the beer and everything on them. So that was crepes and beer and what else? And the Italian place. I can't. Let's see. I can't remember. Oh, maybe there's a. So I'm just digging in files. Yeah, I really need to. But yeah, I've got enough kind of connections. I don't have to look for new work. Oh, I did a logo for a pharmacy too. Just very random stuff. Let's see. Here's a character, just a little caricature for 60th birthday. So a woman wanted the image of her in kimono. So ba-bum, there's her character. She used it for the invitations and stuff for the card. So this more friend work. Here's the logo for the logo for the pharmacy. Yeah, so that was actually like cast in or cut out in metal and on the side of the pharmacy. So it's Yamaki Yamaki Kosuri, Yamaki Pharmacy. And what else? Oh, here. And this is these are the characters for the Taiwan Tea Company. So they wanted cats, and the two owners, so two Taiwanese women, and this is kind of like one's taller and thinner, and yeah, and in the final version there's a beauty mark on the cheek of the shorter cat. But yeah, there's Taiwan Tea, and what else? Oh, the restaurant. That might not be on this machine because that was a while ago. Oh no. I hope I have a backup of that. I think I do. Yeah, so there was also a Hawaiian restaurant. I did the character like it's a cow with a bird and a avocado. I know that sounds pretty bizarre, but yeah, I did a bird, like a parrot, I think a toucan, a longhorn kind of steer, and an avocado character, which I don't have on this machine. Oh no, I didn't delete it. I've got it backed up. It's just I had a problem with my Dropbox account. I was at home. I had I was backing up to this is a fascinating story, but I was backing up to a external hard drive, and it started to fail. And so the garbage software for Dropbox was counting everything that I was syncing to as like priority. I don't know if there's a way to prioritize and tell it not to worry about if it can't read that directory, but it was treating that as like some kind of master directory. And so it started to fail and have trouble reading it. So it just deleted files on every one of my machines, including the cloud backup. And luckily I had, I have the things backed up separately. But yeah, everything got deleted. It was really shocking. So one time I just went to log in, and every directory was there, but they were all empty. So yeah, very frustrating. But yeah, I've got everything in various states of backup. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Yeah, so I don't have the. I think I have the Italian restaurant on this machine. That was one of the first character things. Let's see. Here, nothing. Yeah, that was so bizarre. It makes it so pointless to keep stuff on any of these systems. Let's see. Yeah, that's all I've got locally. So sorry, that wasn't as much as I thought it would be. But yeah, and everything else is not on this. Not on this server. Oh, that's right. Oh yeah, Flash is getting retired. I have to go through. Wow, how many? Yeah, I've got 100 Flash animations that I need to somehow export for export in HTML5 or whatever works the best. Oh, that's crazy. Wow. Yeah, lots of old Flash animations I did for Fox Interactive. And then they bought MySpace, and then they fired everybody in the animation department because they thought, hey, MySpace is like free content, so why do we need to produce our own content? So Animation Studio disappeared. Yeah. Sorry, that's about all I've got locally. Yeah, that was crazy. Oh, that would be cool. No, yeah, I could definitely do that. What would I charge? I don't know. What did I do? Yeah, if it's just all digital, let me double check. What did I put in my I think 10. I can do it. Yeah, $10 for the JPEG. That would be cool. Yeah, so if it's just like kind of one thing, I can do the I can ink it and then use some of the color from the photo to kind of do it. Yeah, that would be cool. Yeah, I can do that. Yeah, and you can get a JPEG of that for yeah, just $10 is good. That totally works. Wow, that's so bizarre. That yeah, I still don't have everything restored from that weird random delete thing. What else? Huh. Yeah, sorry. That looks like about all I've got locally. Yeah. No, that would be fun. Do characters and logo, logo stuff. Yeah, that'd be fun. The King Golden Chicken. Yeah, so the chicken stuff, this was done in Illustrator. So I think I did pencil sketches, but the final version, or maybe Flash. Actually, maybe Flash. Yeah, because Flash is vector as well. So this was all vector stuff. That was definitely done in Illustrator. That's in Illustrator, and this is just Photoshop. Oh, sure. I can change. Yeah, yeah. Definitely. So John's fiance, Sophia, all right. Nice. Oh, that'd be funny. Oh, that's cool. Ah, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I haven't had to. Luckily, I haven't had to resort to Fiverr or anything for work. But I've yeah, done okay with stuff. Yeah, there's a kind of like a yeah, constant. Oh, wait a minute here. Oh, yeah, yeah. Just kind of a constant supply of like small jobs in Japan. But like I said, they don't pay great. Pay better than Fiverr, but they don't pay great. So it's you'd have to get so many to actually keep to actually make it worthwhile. To make it a decent income. Oh, cool. Oh, that's great. Yeah, no, I should approach some people and do some kind of spec work. Just anybody that I like or looks good. But yeah, that would be funny. I like the parking or the rooftop photo. That would be very funny. Oh, cool. Yeah, if I could get a decent rate, I'm worried my rate would be a little too high for Fiverr because it's kind of I gotta balance balance the time. Yeah, it's a little tricky. What is going on? Yeah, I don't. I'm going through old stuff and I don't have anything else on this machine. That's funny. But yeah, that's cool. Oh yeah. Oh, these are really old, but I did comps. So there, the company that was doing the movie 300 back in early 2000s. Yeah, I have to double check when were these files even made. Yeah, they're backed up early 2000s. But I did comps for Flash games because everyone's building Flash websites. Flash games that were going to be based on the 300 movie. So this is like a Space Invaders kind of thing, and chess, and what's this? Yeah, or just another kind of defense. Oh yeah, you're protecting your soldiers. So the one shield, and I gotta. Oh wait, do that. Wait a minute. And this guy, yeah. So like a range, practice range, only using spears. Yeah. So you throw at the enemies and not your own soldiers. Yeah. So those are kind of just cartoony. Like I was looking at the Frank Miller comics. Make this a little bigger. I was looking at the Frank Miller comics. So they're just kind of a little bit in between. It's kind of a generic comic cartoony style, but it's all the 300 stuff. So this was fun to do. I don't know what actually got done for the final website, but yeah, this paid really well because it was Warner Brothers, whoever did 300. So yeah, it paid really well. So that was really fun to do. That's the kind of stuff like you can only do in Los Angeles. I've a little bit, a little. I've done a lot of like characters for mobile games and stuff, like just like little either pixel, like in a kind of retro pixel stuff, or some kind of more generic. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, that's right. That's work I can show too, I think. Oh no, wait a minute. I gotta find where you. It's just all of it's not here. Where is that? Oh yeah, here. What's going on? Yeah, so I did a lot of. This is more comps. Oh yeah, here, yeah. Here's like. So for mobile game stuff, here's like this monkey. This monkey is in 300, and so that was like a weird matching game. Let's see. Has that really happened again? Let's. And oh, okay. Well, I better double check. Yeah, this is just some old game stuff. Where is? Yeah, I guess it's just not on this machine. Whoa. Yeah, but a bunch of like characters like that. So yeah, and I worked on just some kind of random stuff. Nothing, no 3D, like no texture art or model building or anything for modern games. So it was all mostly mobile stuff. Yeah. Huh. Okay. Yeah, I don't see anything here. Yeah, I think it just everything is local. Yeah, sorry, it's all at home on a backup. But yeah, that's a little bit of variety of stuff. So hopefully that was interesting. I don't know. Oops. Let's see. Wait, there we go. Yeah, definitely Corona game. Oh, I said the C word. Now we're off of YouTube. Are we still live? Chicken beer labels. Wow. Yeah. So just a bunch of random stuff that I have still on this machine. Oh. Wow. Okay. Yeah. I'll take a look. I'll take a look at the Instagram for that photo. Wow. Nice. It's weather. It's weather. You did it. It's K5's fault, so if I'm completely shadow banned. Oh. Yeah, it's funny. That's a weird. What did YouTube say? It was like sensitive, like a sensitive topic, or something like the bad weather topic was sensitive information or something that shouldn't be just like discussed by non-experts or whatever. But of course, they're giving like CNN and Fox News and whatever the ability to post their news stories about it. But it's weird. I can understand, like, because the internet does kind of, there are flat earthers and there are all kinds of, interesting opinions on the internet just created by the internet. But they're really limiting the communication, or at least the discussion. And maybe it's helping people not be so afraid to have like so many opinions, because already just with official news sources, nobody has the same opinion. Everything is conflicting and random. Seriously? Are you off? Yeah. Because definitely people, because it gets attention and it gets views and stuff, people would start posting very very alarmist, very shocking headlines based on everything. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, but you want there to be a kind of an open discussion, and as long as everyone's just saying this is opinion, this is not based on anything. But that's happening everywhere else on Reddit and whatever. People are or I mean, I don't know that for a fact, but I'm suspecting that that's happening in other places, especially, well, yeah, Twitter is another one of those kind of mediated spaces where they'll delete stuff if they're or they'll ban you. But yeah, it's funny. I don't think any of these platforms have decided what they really are yet. And yeah. Oh, I have to ban you. Oh, yeah, I need to. I need to ban you, definitely, for bringing up the C word. Oh, man. Yeah, right. Because people would just exploit that, because if you're afraid, you're like, oh, what are they saying, or what is this? Because I think that's the thing that a lot of YouTubers have learned is just clickbait, ridiculous headlines and things will get people to at least watch your videos, and yeah, and also too, I think it's probably an advertiser thing. It's hard to get people to advertise on. We're just talking about disease and death. It's like sponsored by. Yeah. Oh, yeah, anti-vaxxer too. That's another thing. Yeah, that's really crazy. I don't know what that is. Like, people, anything I can't see or you can't prove to me, everything is just not a conspiracy. I guess it is just like that weird kind of paranoid thing is I can't trust anything. I can't trust anything the government says. I can't trust anything scientists or doctors say. So I'm just going to base this on an opinion that I like on the internet, and you can't prove any otherwise. But and the anti-vaxxer thing is so sad too, because it's real obvious how people got to that, because if anyone that's been a parent, it's horrible. It's so terrifying when kids are small and completely helpless and weak, and you see something change. You see, that's right. But you see how vulnerable your kids are, and they talk about the timing of, when you have the vaccinations done is also the same timing that the symptoms, I think that's the correct word, the symptoms of autism and things start to, you start to notice that. And so it's a coincidence of just the, maturity, but you take your kid, they put a bunch of needles in their arm and they're crying and screaming. And then you notice in that same week that they're starting to be, not want to be touched, or, afraid of light or something, is something really strange and really alarming. And of course you're going to associate those things. And then to have some shady researcher in the UK like reinforce that fear in parents, it's so easy to make parents afraid. And yeah, so that's too bad that that's such a thing. And then we can bring back polio and German measles and all those wonderful things because people aren't being vaccinated for them anymore. Yeah. And someday we'll have our bad weather vaccine that we have to take. But yeah, that's so rough. Yeah, there's something, and the flat earth thing is like, there's something that's similar to that. Another kind of like weird belief, but it's just so funny. You can't prove it to me. You can't prove it to me. I believe it's just a conspiracy. And what would be we want to hide the fact that the earth is flat. We want to convince people that the world is round because that does something, that's some power or something. That's very funny. If we can just convince everyone we're living on a globe, then that's when things will really get good for us. Yeah, that's amazing. But and a lot of that is vanity. I think a lot of parents, and they don't know completely everything now yet about autism and who's developing it and why. But that's a really frustrating thing, that it's the parent's ego. Like, I want my kid to be perfect. I'd rather have them be dead than not perfect, because they represent you. They're a little, representative of you and your kind of second chance to, do whatever you want. All the stage moms like pushing their kids to act and sing and dance and do things because they didn't do that as a kid. That's brutal. Yeah, that's really amazing. But I don't know what it is, why people are getting so stubborn about their opinions. Like, we have access to actually good information about things. Well, I think what it is part of it is you want the comfort, you want science to comfort you the way religion does. And people have kind of lost religion. They've lost that kind of safety net of religion where you just have faith and just believe in something. And science isn't giving that to you. So you get angry at science for being so uncertain and being so, like, they just, based on whatever data, they'll change their opinions. And that's not comforting. That's very cold and unstable. And so people want something comforting so they can believe in something strongly, like religion, like, how religion serves. So if you're a flat earther, that gives you the same comfort that, being religious would in other parts, other aspects. Lots of jaywalkers, yeah. Where's the cops when you need them? Those crazy. It's funny. Yeah, well, and that's the thing too, is we haven't quantified, because definitely, like, especially in the types of jobs like programming and certain types of engineering design and things, like being able to hyper focus and not be distracted by social interactions, like actually avoiding social interactions and things, like make you better at your job. I mean, working for you're a better Google employee if you're on the spectrum. So we don't really know yet. Because everything, whatever, when you're talking about anything that's a disease or a disorder or whatever, that's based on some assumption of normal or assumption of some standard thing. So it's just off standard or off what you're calling normal. And if it's, gives you an advantage, or if it's, useful, like they talk about, so Tokyo University is kind of the Harvard, or the, kind of highest level you go in Japan. And they say that the number of students that are on the autism spectrum in Tokyo is very high, but because they have to perform at such a high level, and if you don't have any distraction and you can hyper focus on your, school, your academic career, your school life, then you have an advantage. So it's funny. It's a funny thing. We just have to keep adjusting, but that's not comfortable. It's not comfortable to, adjust our thinking. But that's all stuff. But that was a conversation I had at. So I did an animation graduate degree in California, and I got involved in this, what was it called? Integrated media, one of those like bullshit kind of fields where it's combining like, computers and programming and animation and things like that, using things collaboratively instead of, so I started out as just animation, experimental animation, but then it became this other thing. But talking to the head of that department, it was the very beginning of the internet. So, everything was still dial up and message boards and just beyond like message boards and things. And the professor was asking me, so what do you think is going to happen? Like once, people are able to communicate and there's a real free exchange of information, even more so than there was in 1997 or whatever that was. And I had an optimistic opinion. I think, well, things will get better and we'll have a we'll have a greater understanding. The world, we'll have a more varied view of the world because we'll have been able to get opinions from people we'd never communicated with before, or never had a lot of contact with before. And he said, no, that's absolutely wrong. What's going to happen is the more we're exposed to, the more tribal and set in our ways and stubborn and unwilling to see other points of view we're going to become. And that's exactly what happened. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, that's very, very true. Yeah, so I was surprised by that, and but it just turned out to be very true. I mean, it was, and he was very, as far as like looking at computers kind of role in society and stuff. I think he was very on track, with that, and it was so depressing because I didn't want to have that, kind of negative, pessimistic view about what was going to happen to the world, but that's exactly what happened. Is people just became very tribal and very stuck to their opinions. Like it was such a personal thing that yeah, that's very very true. It's funny, I don't know, and it's got to be something like some deep kind of lizard brain or very primal thing that we just fear differences, and because maybe we're on the verge of a big kind of shift societally, that people are clinging to those kind of animal things. You're not like me, so I want to protect myself against you. We just didn't realize like the kind of maybe overstimulation or response that we would have to knowing too much about the rest of the world, and especially when we have situations like this bad weather situation. You just get very fearful and very suspicious. It's like we want to accuse the Chinese of being malicious in the release of this, or the not controlling this. And so people just like turn on each other and base it on just the differences. Yeah, it's really crazy. Ugh. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, people want to, that group mentality thing. They want to identify. They want to belong. So just follow what everyone else is, what your group is thinking, or what. And that's too bad. That's what. That's so weird. That's what's making politics and everything so weird now. Is there's only two opinions, mine and the wrong opinion. Yeah. Oh, wow. Well, I think I have done all I'm going to be able to do. Yeah, sorry there's no comments or anything this time, so there'll be a lot next time, though, because all four of those will be posted. But, yeah, belonging, and, it's really funny. I made our I guess tribalism is kind of the best thing. It's made our group identity so much stronger and so much more important. Now that we'll believe anything, just tell me what to believe because I want to belong. Yeah, and it is. That's very interesting because, in very primitive and earlier like social structures of people. The person that would be off by themselves or do their own thing, they're dangerous, and they're, to be kept out at all costs. So I think that's where we are now. Wow. Well, I think I'm on my way to dinner time again. Nice. Yeah, this worked perfectly. Sorry, I got online a little later. I was hoping this would be an earlier day, but it was a long university day. But and still everything is getting canceled, but still there's a lot to do. So I will be back again next week. I really appreciate everybody showing up on the stream. It was really fun, and always always the discussion is fun, the comments are fun, and you guys are insanely helpful at the writing part of the with the cartoons. I can feel much more sure of like what is working and what is not for some reason, and amazing suggestions too, because I can't always get there kind of mentally, so it's really fun to have other input. But all right, so next week, Abuse Cartoons is where this cartoon originated. So the archive is on the gocomics.com. So gocomics.com/domestic abuse, and all the links should be in the description below. And Twitter is Abuse Cartoons as well. And so everything gets archived on both YouTube and Twitch. If you want to go see any ridiculous, you can scan through to find the convenience store segments. Yeah, it's really fun. Yeah, take care, K5. It was a very fun time. Yeah, take it easy, Joe. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, it's fun to go back and forth. I have a lot more energy, to do this, and maybe I should just keep going, like not just do the 2 weekly cartoons, but just keep doing more ideas per stream, because that would make it easier. I could actually get back to doing daily if I did it more. Yeah, you too, Sedona. Have a great week. Yeah, and definitely, Joe. Yeah. Look for a picture of your dog, and I'd definitely like to do that for you. But very good. So everybody, be safe and take care, and don't get too miserable socially distancing yourself or whatever is required in the area that you're living. But everybody take care, and I will be back next week. Oh, and Patreon too. So if anybody watching this hasn't seen the Patreon, so patreon.com/abusecartoons to keep the magic happening. But thanks so much, and everybody take care. I will see you soon. Goodbye.